I'm Brian Cleary with NADA, and we have the Subaru team live. So Tom, I'll turn it over to you for just a quick second, and then I'll pull it back for Q&A.
Sure. Thank you, Brian. And I want to welcome all of our retailers who are in the audience. Welcome to our beautiful headquarters building here in the likewise beautiful Camden, New Jersey. Obviously wish we could be down in New Orleans with all of you, but unfortunately we can't. We're not able to do that. You know, one of the highlights for me whenever we attend an NADA conference is the fact that we're able to have the cocktail reception after all of the meetings are over. And it's really a good time for us to get an understanding of what's happening at your stores. I always get choked up when I talk to you guys from wearing that mask all day. But it's still great to have this opportunity to spend time with you. I know one of the things that we mentioned in the video was just the situational production. So what I've done is I've asked Jeff Walters to give you a further update. We've got more information available that we can provide you regarding the production situation. So Jeff's going to give you a few-minute update on how we're making out with the semiconductor chips and how it's going to affect our production, if at all. So Jeff?
All right, thank you, TD. And hello, Subaru team. And it's good, we have a little bit more information. There's still a lot we don't know. Before I talk about production, I do want to give a quick plug and thank you all for January business. So I know we're kicking off 2021, but we already have 1 month in the books. So I want to thank you for a solid result. It was the best January in the history of Subaru of America, so a solid start. We weren't up a lot, plus 2%, but we did it in an industry that was down a little over 3%, and we did it with one less selling day. And the other thing I'd note is not only was the total business up, but our core retail business, the cash, finance, and lease reporting, that was also up in the month of January. So again, with one less reporting day. So thank you for a terrific start to 2021. We have a long way to go, but we're off to a good start. All right, a little bit on production. So we all know that this is being caused by the microchip shortage. And on the supply side, you know, we're still having the issues caused by COVID on production. And on the demand side, you know, the issues where the recovery in the automotive business the last several months of 2020 was certainly better than expected, as well as just really robust demand for those microchips across a lot of just different industries. So we're all dealing with that. It's a global industry issue, and it is affecting Subaru, and it is affecting production at both of our plants in Guma and SIA. So we have a pretty clear picture of what's happening in the short term, but there really is a lot that we still don't know as you go further out, and the situation is changing. I can tell you that, and you probably know this, for allocation number 3, which was the allocation our district managers just completed with your stores a couple weeks ago. Those are the March deliveries. That number turned out to be a little better than expected, not too bad. We're able to replace the January retail, so we were encouraged with that. And our plan, what we'd like to do with you as we go forward and we're handling this issue, we promise we're going to keep our communications up with you on a regular basis. And as we're doing each successive allocation, we're going to give you a number for those allocations that we're confident that we're going to be able to deliver to you. And hopefully we're going to actually be able to underpromise and overdeliver on that. But when you get those allocations, then you're going to have a solid number that you know you're going to be able to plan your sales strategy around that. A couple other updates. We are encouraged because we are seeing with some of the more recent updates and actions addressing the chip shortage that the situation looks like that it is starting to improve. And we're especially looking forward to the second half of the year when we think it will be a lot better. Second, it's good to know that SBR, as always, is prioritizing the U.S. market. And they've made some decisions that will be shifting several thousand units of production from other markets into the U.S. market, and those will all be cars delivered to you. So we, as always, appreciate the support from Tama and the SBR team doing whatever they can to take care of us and our retailers. And a third thing I'll mention, I think we've talked a little bit about this before, but to confirm, we will be focusing our production on our key SUV car lines. So to the extent that we can, we'll be moving some production around. So you'll see better support for car lines like Forester, Outback, Ascent, and Crosstrek. And quite honestly, you might see a couple car lines be a little bit more lean as we go from the spring to the early summer, say a car line like Impreza. All right, and to wrap it up with this little production update, just a couple numbers to share with you. We started out February with about 76,000 cars on ground across the country. And that's actually 10,000 units more than we had on ground starting February of last year. And starting this morning, we had over 80,000 units of on-ground inventory. So in that respect, we are actually in very good shape to make sure and ensure we can reach our first quarter sales targets. Now, starting in March, we will expect that we'll have a gradual drawdown of our retailer inventories over the next few months. But we do expect our planning and the information that we're generally getting from SBR that we will have enough cars, even though we're drawing down that inventory gradually, that we can work a plan to reach our 2021 sales target of 660,000 cars. So we're going to be working our plans and our actions with you to support that 8% sales increase this year. Inventory levels will certainly decline, but we don't expect them to decline to the same levels that we had the middle of last summer. All right, so we encourage you, we want you to stay aggressive. We have a lot of cars to sell this year, so working together, we're going to reach that sales target. And again, thank you for everything you do. We certainly appreciate the partnership. Thanks.
Thank you, Jeff, for that update. And hey, Brian, I don't know if you know this or not, but we have a tradition at our Subaru franchise meeting that the first question, ever since I've taken over Subaru of America back in around 2006 or 2007, the first question at our franchise meeting goes to the wonderful Carrie Hamilton from Beardmore Subaru in Omaha, Nebraska. And I had the opportunity to visit their store, back in 2019, so a couple of years ago. And it's a magnificent store, and they're great people out there. So hopefully our tradition can continue, and Carrie's out there and can ask us the first question.
Hey, Tom, as luck has it, Carrie was able to relay a question to me to ask you, and it's more in the form of a comment than it is a question. So here we go. Thank you for another fabulous year of Subaru awards, for heartwarming Subaru commercials, and especially for Subaru's Feeding America initiative. It says, I know I'm not alone when I say I feel blessed to be a Subaru retailer and for you as the leader at the helm. Thank you for all you and your team do daily.
Well, thank you, Carrie, for that. And we want to thank all of our retailers, because we couldn't do what we do without the support of all of our retailers around the country. And our Feeding America program, this year we donated on January 21st, 100 million meals. You saw in the video that Alan showed last April, we did 50 million meals. And with the contributions we've received from our retailers, it's going to be probably close to 160 million meals when we get to the end of it that we're going to be donating through to Feeding America. And again, we couldn't do that without you. All of these programs, all the things that we do, we couldn't do without our retailers and you all buying into our strategy and our program. So I want to thank you for all of that, and please continue to do what you're doing. We really appreciate it, and we need your support.
Great, thanks, Tom. I'm going to jump right into another question. EV investment and autonomous driving. What does Subaru have in their pipeline? We need to start talking about it, as all of our competitors are. Clients are in showrooms asking what we have and what we need to let them know if the current models will have electric drivetrains.
Well, as a lot of our retailers know, we currently have the plug-in hybrid with the Crosstrek, and we're partnering with Toyota, which has been announced, on an EV model that's going to be coming in a couple of years. We hope to have a plan that we can discuss with our retailers at this year's National Business Conference that's coming up in Anaheim in September. We're going to be able to roll out the plan for our EV strategy. But remember also, I know people are talking about EVs and so forth in the marketplace, but remember, it's still only 1.9% of the market as it is right now. And we do understand, obviously, with the new administration coming in, that there's going to be more of a push towards hybrid and electric vehicles in the future. But rest assured that Subaru Corporation is taking the actions that are necessary to make sure that they can provide us with the products that we're going to need for the U.S. market. So stay tuned for our National Business Conference coming up in September for more details on that.
Great. We'll stick with the EV theme. Will COVID and the switch to EV change the way that you look about facility requirements?
I'll let Jeff talk this in a little bit, but I guess what I would say is right now we need facilities in order to be able to handle a lot of the service and sales work. You know, when you look at our business and you look at the number of customers that we've got in our owner base, and I said it in the video, we know that about 14% of those customers every year are coming back to purchase another new vehicle. And with our industry-leading loyalty, we should be able to get that. But more importantly, we've got lead volume that's just out of this world. So we've got a lot of people that are coming in, not just on the new car side, but we're going to need to service the cars until we can fully transition to electric vehicles, which is going to be a while before that actually happens. So we still need facilities, and we need further investment in those facilities. And not just facilities, but it's people and processes and all the things that I mentioned in the video recorded remarks. Jeff, you have anything you want to add to that?
No, I think you covered most of it, TD. The one thing I would mention is maybe to the point about COVID specifically, maybe not the bricks and mortar of a facility, but one thing COVID has taught us over the past several months is the importance of your facility really starts when people are looking at your store online. And that move to digital retailing, we think that's a type of shopping that's not going to change or go back. And that's a real opportunity for us to continue working together to not just have a digital retailing tool, but for us to work together and see how we can assist you to make sure that we can help our customers better shop online.
Great, thank you. Here's a question. It's more product related. Are there any plans for the future for a light pickup such as the Honda Ridgeline?
That's a good question, and unfortunately, the answer would be no.
Well, that was
we seem to get that question all the time, and you know it's a matter of priorities. Right now, we've got to prioritize our EV strategy and making sure that the internal combustion engines that we are producing in our current powertrains are the most fuel efficient possible. And so our research and development dollars have to go towards those types of investments at this time. So unfortunately, in the short run, the answer to that would be unfortunately no.
So the next question is also product related, and I may butcher the question because it may have been written a little silly here. Is there a big or minor change coming for the Ascent?
The question, yes, there is. Jeff, do you want to answer that one?
Yeah. There is a big minor change. So, Brian, we call it our big minor change when we have that mid-cycle product update. And I'm not sure I can tell you exactly when it's coming, but it will be coming. And we are encouraged. I can tell you one thing with our big minor update for Ascent and some of our other car lines. We are excited that working with SBR and the feedback that you've given us and that we've passed along to them, that you will see our future big minor updates with more of a focus, I think, on the big side than the minor side. So I think you can look forward to some more substantial changes coming with all our car lines, including Ascent.
Yeah, and to follow up on Jeff's point on that, which is really true, your retailer advisory board, led by Patrick Wergen, Wally Summer, and Jeff Williams, has done an outstanding job of communicating with Subaru Corporation on the real need for when these big minor changes come, that they be extremely impactful. And SBR is obviously listening and paying close attention to what's happening in the market because they see they see what other manufacturers and brands are doing with their so-called big minor changes, and they know they've got to push the envelope a little further. But you know, that's one thing I don't think the advisory board gets enough praise about is the fact that how they're helping us with Subaru Corporation to make sure that these new products that are coming are appropriate for the U.S. market in terms of styling and road dynamics and fuel economy and utility and that type of thing.
Excellent. We've got another product-related question or services-related question. what are the plans for mobile services for Subaru?
Mobile, what does mobile services mean? You mean our Starlink? We have, oh, you mean, or they mean firmware over the air?
Yeah.
Okay. Fortunately, we have Mike Campbell here. Mike is our resident expert on our service mobile activities that are coming up, and it's probably. I mean, I could answer the question, but I think it's a good opportunity for Mike to explain specifically what we're doing and how we're doing it. So, Mike.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks, Subaru retailers. Great question too. I just want to say that we are looking at it, as you know, with our COVID service program. We've kind of launched a little teaser of what we think might be possible with mobile repair, and think it's the way to potentially go in the future. And so we're in the kind of the fact-finding area. Would love to continue it, especially as it relates to those recalls that you can handle locally, and with the least amount of complexity that you can have in a repair to assure its safety in a driveway or garage, and for your technician. So might be something we can share a little bit more about with you all at NBC, but something we're working on. We could be a year or more out, but we're definitely working hard on it to come up with something.
Hey, while I have you up there, I wanted to ask if are there any other updates? There are a couple of questions that came in specific to batteries. So other than what you provided, I figured rather than
we didn't know that one was coming.
Yeah, I actually thought maybe Jeff and Tom would take up the time, but I want to say that I do have good news here. So we have 9 actions that we've implemented on the battery issues that we've had, dating back to we'll call it June of last year. Way too long, no question at all. Way too long to have to kind of deal with this at retail. We absolutely understand and appreciate what you're going through. But I can tell you that 7 of those actions, while implemented, have helped us to have the issues that we've had, or the incidents with batteries that we've had. We've got 2 big ones that are still forthcoming. One that most of you may already know about is the GC7, which is your Legacy and Outback. They get a newly designed battery beginning with March production that should help us substantially and reduce that incident even further. And then we have a service parts replacement battery for your 19 to 21 Ascent and your 17 to 21 Impreza that we've just launched. In fact, this morning on SubaruNet, there was an announcement on how to process your warranty claims using this new battery part number as the replacement parts battery. It's a stronger battery that will hopefully alleviate some of the issues that you have there as well. So I think with those activities, we should see some additional improvement over what we've already seen. Like I said, it's halved. Warranty and PAR claims are actually down about 38% on the car lines that are produced out of SIA, so good improvement. It doesn't mean that we aren't going to continue to work to determine whatever dark currents there might be drawing on the battery and any parasitic draws. So rest assured, it's our top issue. It's NASI and the FAST team's top issue, and we are going to seek whatever the countermeasures are until we get full resolution. So thank you, and a good question.
Hey, Brian, one thing to add to what Mike said there is regarding the FAST team, the Fast Action Response Team that's been developed here at Subaru of America. We have a gentleman, and he's in the audience here, if we could bring him up, Mr. Ogura, who's actually leading that effort on our behalf. And it might be a good opportunity for us to at least have the retailers see him. So when he visits and comes to our National Business Conference, the retailers can know that this is the guy who's spending a lot of time working with us, working with our service team, working with the current NASI team that's here, so that they can get a feeling for what's actually happening in our market. And taking this back to SBR, there really is a keen focus in our market by SBR to make things better and our quality to improve. And this is a testament that SBR would send over a gentleman of this character and of this level to our company that assist us. So I'd like to turn it over to Ogura-san to say a few words to our retailers that are in the audience.
Nice to meet you. My name is Ogura. I'm a North American Chief Quality Officer, and I came here last September, and I established the first team in January, and we are making the big effort with SOA Canada and SRD New Jersey, the development division, and we will make the best effort hereafter. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That's perfect. And I work with, Mike and I have been working with the Gorsan as he's been here so far in making sure that he's got a complete understanding of a lot of the issues that we're facing with batteries, CVTs, head units. And believe me, SBR is working extremely diligently to make sure that these get corrected as future products come out.
Well, we've got time for one more question and then kind of a fun question to wrap up. And then just so everyone knows, the remaining questions that we didn't get a chance to ask will be sent over to Subaru so that they can address those to the whole group. So sure. This one is the 5-door WRX in the works for 2022.
Well, I guess we're not supposed to talk about future product until it gets announced.
Yeah.
So
I'll let you off the hook there.
Yeah, let us off the hook on that. Well, I think the writer of the question probably knows the answer to it.
Yeah. So we had another fun one that we'll wrap up with here. There are a few other questions. Again, like I said, we'll send over to you at the Subaru team. But last one and a fun one to end on: are the Black Crows the new musical spokes band for Subaru? How cool would that be?
It could be, right? Yeah. We all like their music here, and of course it was featured in the video that Alan showed. So yeah, it's fun.
Very, very nice. Well, I just wanted to say thank you again to Subaru for taking the time today to answer all the